Dear present me, take your own advice. Drop your worries at your Father's feet and live freely, assured of His coverage, expectant of greater things to come.
Hi everyone, what's up? What's up? Anyone, welcome again. Welcome to the DWICF show, where you are encouraged and motivated to do what you came for. I am excited, as always, to doing this video because I feel like this is something, what we're discussing today is something that will be very helpful to you wherever you are on your journey. And I think that it is something that every one of us can actually relate to. So let me back it up to where the thought came from. So I was watching a podcast, an interview, and then there's someone who I really admire. So she was invited to be interviewed in this channel, and then they spoke about a lot of things. But then the final question was, if you could tell your younger self something, what would you tell your younger self? And I was like, nice question. Let's hear what she would actually say to her younger self. And she said she would actually tell her younger self to relax, to calm down, that everything would eventually work out for good. And it was very comforting to hear her say that, because I'm kind of younger. But it was very comforting to hear that, in the sense that, okay, actually calm down, all things will work out for your good. But then I realized that I also say that to my younger self. I remember thinking about it, that, okay, if I was also to tell my younger self something, what would I tell my younger self? And it's also the same thing of, calm down, why are you worrying? It's gonna be fine. This is something that a lot of us would actually tell our younger selves. But it got me thinking that really our present self will be our younger self in the future. I don't know if that English makes sense, but if you get it, like, right now, why not just take the advice? Like, why not be worried right now? It should not always be that, when I overcome this, I'm not like, okay, younger self, you shouldn't have been worried, you shouldn't have been anxious and been all over the place and just burnt out by worry. Why not actually take the advice right now and actually calm down and relax? Hence this video. All through life, there's always this thing of, you be so worried about something, and then when it finally happens, you be like, I've escaped. calm down, you have escaped. That kind of thing of, for instance, in university, there was the thing of, because in 300 level, you have to choose specializations. And then I was anxious, will I choose the right thing? Like, the anxiety was a lot. Will I choose the right thing? What if I choose something that I'm eventually not good at? Or all those kind of things. Then I chose, then I found, it was good. Then that one ended, this project. How will my project be? How will my project defense be? So anxious about it. And then at the end of the day, you have escaped. But I realized that we know, like, our future self knows that, you shouldn't have been so worried or worked up about something, because it would eventually turn out well, or it would eventually pass. But why don't we take that advice now? Really, why do we worry? Why do we get anxious about so many things and just be like and then when God finally comes to, like, finally, I shouldn't have been so worried. So really, I realized that the reason why we worry is really a struggle for control. We want to control a lot of things. We want to we want to make sure that things are the way they should be, like that kind of, really, if you are the one driving a car, all the responsibility for the car getting to that destination is on you. So it's a thing of, I have to get it done. And I realized that if we are living our lives like that, then we will be worried. It's just a thing of, the responsibility for my life to be how it's supposed to be now lies on me. And I think that is where worry springs out from. Being someone who has dealt with a lot of anxiety, dealt with worry about the littlest things, the biggest, the big things, I have seen that there are certain things that have helped me, overcome worry. I'm still on that journey, but there are things that I would love to share that have been of great help in overcoming and just actually taking the advice of, calming down, don't be worried, you'll be escape, that kind of thing. So the first thing that I believe overcomes worry is prayer. The Bible says that don't be anxious for anything, but he doesn't just say don't be anxious, and I'm like, how? like what am I supposed to do? But he actually says, but with everything, direct it to God in prayer. Cast your cares on God because he actually cares for you. Really, the peace that comes from actually carrying your cares to God cannot be quantified, cannot even really be explained, because really prayer is really depending on another person. I think of it as a child, being carried by somebody else. The responsibility of walking isn't really on you anymore when you've depended, you've leaned on another person. And prayer really is a show of our dependence. Prayer is a show of, carry it, like it's a thing of handing over the control, saying that God, I can't figure it out on my own. This is my first time doing life. It's my first time being however old you are. It's my first time being in this new phase. My first time being in this season. And then just saying, you who is bigger than I am, you who knows everything, I hand it over to you so that I can rest. There's this song I really love so much. The line that I really love says, oh, what peace we often forfeit. Meaning like peace that you can have it, but like you just don't get it. Like you leave it. Forfeit is to neglect something and just not like forfeit. Forfeit is to actually not take something, like just give it up. But really, peace that you can have, we forfeit it when we don't actually take everything to God in prayer. I was thinking about this video and I saw that in my past journal in 2022, I had actually written a letter to my younger self, and I found it very, very relevant to this video, and I would love to read that, featuring my 2022 journal. Alright, so this is 26th of January 2022, 12 a.m. That's crazy. Okay, so it says, dear younger me, God is so real. I know that now. I would really love you to realize that he's not just a big old man up in the skies holding a huge scepter with fire burning all over him. Don't get me wrong there. He is mighty and majestic. Yes, all that is real. But that's not all there is. He's a father, like an actual father, like an actual daddy. In fact, the best there is. Now I have come to realize that he's interested in every single aspect of your life. Yes, every aspect. So dear, tell him everything. He knows already, so there's no point hiding it from him. He sees you just the way you are, and that doesn't change the way he loves you. When I realized this, it was so humbling. I still get to realize it every day. And I saw that this is something my future self, my past self now, my future, you get the point. My future self was telling my past self to actually take things to God in prayer, because I had seen that there's so much peace and so much rest that comes with actually just giving it all to God. Second thing is gratitude. There's something that gratitude does to you that kind of realigns your mind to think in a better way, in a clearer, like just gives you a clearer view of life. Really, when you actually think back and think with a mindset of, oh, I have things to be thankful for, then you would see even hope in the future. If you look back and say, okay, God showed up for me in this way, I can actually trust that he would show up for me in another way. So I think it's also important to even take stock of things that are happening in your life, things that you were worried about at one time and then it got sorted. That gives you confidence for another time that things that you are worried about even right now will get sorted. That removes that fear. For instance, when I was worried about my final year project, how choosing a topic, who my supervisor will be, all those kind of things, I remember that I was also worried about choosing my specialization in 300 level, and I realized that I eventually made the right decision. I mean, in hindsight, it actually looked like, oh, this is where I should have been, this is where I was supposed to be, and that gave me encouragement that, oh, God came through for me in this, because decision making can be a very big anxiety space for me. So I realized that, oh, God came through for me in making this decision. He will definitely do it again. Like he's God. I mean, he's not changing. So I think that gratitude really just helps. Practical ways is maybe having a gratitude jar where you write out things that you're grateful for every single time, and then there will be times when you actually just need to go back and see the journey that you've walked and see what has happened and how you've even evolved. That would remind you that if you've been through this and you came out well, I mean, what is this? Well, it might be bigger, but there's just this confidence that this would actually also be okay. There are times where you are worried because you're like, oh, what am I even doing in my life? What am I, like, what's going on? But when you actually stop, like, hold up, when you actually stop to think and reflect on even, not even the past, on present, like, what exactly do you have? You see that you actually have things going on for you that you can be grateful for. And gratitude, I don't think gratitude and worry can be in the same place at the same time. So really, you put more of gratitude, let gratitude come out of your mouth, let it fill your heart more, and you see that worry will also fizzle away. The third tip I would love to give on overcoming worry is guarding your heart. So I have a friend that every time we have a conversation, I'm like, oh, I'm so worried. And she just be like, Mimi, what did you let into your heart? Like, who did you listen to? What did you watch? Those kinds of things. Really, our heart is so sensitive that we actually have to be gate men and gate women and gatekeepers, and just taking the responsibility of I determine what I allow to get into my heart. This would even look like knowing the kind of people that, just trigger a worry, just trigger worry in you, and actually guarding yourself from them. There are things that, there's a thing of, oh, I'll pray about it, I would attack it later. But there's also the part of actually defending. Reminds me of a football. I don't know a lot about football, but imagine a footballer is just like, oh, okay, attack, like just the strikers are working, I guess. And then the defense, like there's no defense guarding the post. The opponent will be able to get balls into your post as well. So really, you have to guard, like protect yourself from things that trigger you or lead you into just this spiral of worrying and anxiety. It will look like maybe there are some people you shouldn't listen to. There are people that you talk to and then you leave that place and you're just like, I'm scared, I'm worried, I'm anxious. So really, why put yourself in that kind of place? I like being a human because you are free, like you have choices. Make it a decision not to be hearing bad news, or there are people that you even come across that all the things, like everything that they say just kind of puts like in your body, like I don't even have the word for it. It just triggers you in wrong ways. And yeah, really, guarding your heart is very important. The Bible even says that guard your heart with all diligence. Like plan it, how we're going to guard it. Like, okay, be very intentional about making sure that the wrong things don't get into your heart. And that's by actually making the right things get into your heart. The Bible also says that, whatsoever things are good, whatsoever things are noble, things of good report. So intentionally choose the things that you allow to enter into your mind. Intentionally choose to fill your mind with promises, God's promises for your life, God's word for your life. I mean, you can fill your mind with, just oh, it will be fine, we will be better. But it's better to fill your mind on what you are sure of, that doesn't change, that is credibility. And I don't see anything more credible than the words of God, like what God actually said. And just things like knowing that, okay, my future is bright, like the path of the just shines brighter and brighter until it's perfect. They don't mean that like it's only getting better for me, or God has good plans for me. I know that his plans for me are good and not evil. These are ways that we actually guard our minds, guard our hearts, and prevent us from worrying. Finally, my fourth tip is to actually do what you can. I have really thought about this a lot, and every time that I'm worried, I find that really I need to distinguish between what I can control and what I cannot control. So there are things that, okay, I can actually do something about this, and I can, I'm scared about the test. I can read, like I need to know that, okay, there are things that I can actually control, like there are things that I can do about certain things, and there are things that even if I try, like I actually cannot control the outcome of these things or all of that. So I think it is very important to clearly distinguish. There are things that I can control, and I will do all that I can, take the next right step, do what I should actually be doing to control that. But things that I really cannot control, what do I do with them? I cast them on God, who can control everything. I heard Priscilla Shara say this on a podcast. She said that really rest is not just being complacent. It's actually just taking the next right step and trusting God with the outcome, trusting God with all that happens. What you see that is the next thing to do that looks like obviously is okay. This is what I can actually do. This is what like my sense says is the next thing to do. Actually just doing it, and then leaving the outcome, trusting God with the outcome of it, and trusting God with things that you can actually not do anything about. That's how we free ourselves from anxiety, free ourselves from worry. Basically, as I was thinking about these points, I realized that it's kind of like a football game. Calm down. So really, in overcoming worry, there's the defense and then there's the attack. So for prayer now, I see it as both a defense and an attack, where you pray even when you're not worried. Like, you are praying to guard off worry even away from your heart, because even before the worry comes, you've thrown it on God. It's also you attacking worry in the sense that when worry actually comes, when anxiety comes, you are now casting your cares on God and then receiving His peace. Then gratitude, I think, is also a defense and an attack point, because really, when you are already grateful, when you're already intentionally finding out things that you are thankful for, it's hard for worry to seep in. So that way, it's a defense against worry, but it's also an attack in the sense that when worry comes, you can actually go back and think on things that you have to be grateful for, and then you find out that, oh, life has actually been good. God has actually been good to me, and so I can be fine. I will be okay. God will show up for me and all of that. So it's also a defense and an attack. For guarding your heart, I believe that this is a defense where you are really protecting it. Shout out to my friend Esther, because like this is her quote. Like, she's always saying it, like, Mimi, guard your heart. What are you allowing to be said to you? What thoughts are you allowing to stay? Thoughts will come, but are you allowing it to stay? Are you combating it? She'll be like, when your thoughts come, like I say, from where? That kind of thing. But really, it should be actually be a fight. Like, this is war, this is war. This is a battle. A fight in the end. And finally, is to do what you can. This is both a defense and an attack, really, because really, rest is not in being complacent. Rest is not just being there, because when you're just living there, you'll be worried. But really, once you know that, okay, I'm doing the next right thing that I'm supposed to do it, and then trust God. So really, dear present me, dear present you, dear present all of us, do not be worried. Really cast your cares on God, and you'll see that even your present self now will be your past self, and you'll be happy that you actually were not worried, because God actually showed up at the end of the day. So I pray that this encourages you. Encourages you to actually be intentional about living a life free of worry, because worry drains energy. I can say that from first-hand experience. Like, you just know that you're worried and you're not able to do stuff. Like, you are worried that you have a lot to do, and then because you are worried that you have a lot to do, you will not actually start doing and it just paralyzes you. I don't know if you can relate, but worry is bad. Worry is crazy, and we need to actually take a stand to fight against it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for staying to the end. I enjoyed talking about this. I hope that this was helpful. This was, encouraging. This was a push, a warm hug, a warm hug, because all of us can relate with that day. But really, I hope this was really helpful and it inspires you to do what you came for. Till next time, please subscribe, like, share. Yeah, really, share. It helped you, it blessed you. Share to your friends, your family, and also the people you intend to cut off. Alright, bye. Relax. 4 things I would love to share today. So really, the charge, it sounds like preaching. The charge today, my exhortation to you all, you are